Welcome everyone to a session of live trading over here. We'll take you till about 2:30 p.m. for the next hour and a half. Um, we got an interview in there we're going to be doing in the middle on ticker symbol NMTC. So we're going to learn about that company there, NMTC. It's actually the first time looking up the chart. This is going to be new to me. Very interested in learning about this medtech company. So that'll be at 1:30 p.m. Rhett, are we doing a cash giveaway today?
Yes, we are.
All
Let me
right.
send out. Hold on. I'll give you guys an update on that here
Okay.
in 1 second.
So
I
he's
am.
working on that. So stay tuned for information on how you can win some cash. We're going to spin that wheel. We haven't done that in a while, but we'll do that after the interview. Um, So there's a lot going on here. I'm just kind of waiting for the audience to build a little bit because I got a lot of great content, guys. Um, Look at this. This is beautiful. A lot of our swings really starting to work out. All of our top picks of the day apparently hit the target. Right. We'll go through those. I mean, let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. ASTS, we gave a 115 target, hit 120. Rhett, you're all over this from yesterday. So great job on that. This is not my largest anymore, but one of my bigger. OpenAI begins testing ads on ChatGPT. Just got that alert. So, in any case, one of my bigger positions in my retirement account. It's a top 2026 pick of the year. And in fact, let's get an update on the top 2026 picks of the year. 25%. This data is 20 minutes delayed, by the way. 3% up on these 31 picks for the year. Now, these are not all my long term picks. They're just the long term picks in the hot sectors of AI, defense tech, space, AI, software, and robotics. Anyway, just killing it in the long term account. Short term account and the trade ideas today. We're working out, as I said, ASTS 115 target. ONDS, we give a 14 to 1450 target. More importantly, man, this was all really predicted well. This pop, I mean, we gave the play-by-play in our morning note regarding this pop that was going to come between 8 and 8:30, the 14 to 1450 target, and then the sell-off all day. Okay. Now I wish I played it as well as I predicted, but this was just really obvious. All three of those things. Um, we knew the press release was coming. We knew they'd raise their guidance. I checked the history. I saw they used their press release at 8 or 8:30 a.m. I actually bought more shares at 8:29 a.m. in preparation for that. So that was beautiful. And I saw Ross also killed it on that prediction in our Discord community. The 14 to 1450 was just based on technicals. I think it was a 30-minute chart I was looking at to find that 14 to 1450 target range. And this sell-off is based on the fact that I believe the fact that the $1 billion they raised was not to a long investor, but rather a transactional investor who's shorting against the free warrants they got. So I thought they'd be in the market selling that on top of the fact that the daily chart doesn't look good. However, I stepped back in and I probably stepped back in too early. It was probably down here. It was probably around here. Yeah, it was probably in the low 13s, right? So I sold and I didn't sell everything. I sold half in the 14s. Then I stepped back in the low 13s. Then I bought like call options down here. So I ended up giving back a lot of my gains. I am green on the day for it still, but I was listening to the investor day at 10 a.m. plus read the press release, and it really I think was beyond my expectations. And I did a fundamental fair value analysis with AI this morning and added it all together. And I thought that maybe the daily chart and that seller out there can be overcome. All right, but it does look pretty a little bit ugly. You do have support right here at 1170. How low did we get? 1221. So you have support at 1170, and then you have the rising 20 DMA. But this is like a meme stock at this point. It's going to have a sentiment premium. And I got to say, as meme stocks go, you got to rely less on technicals. The technicals can be overcome. I mean, a great example of this is Tesla, especially intraday. Like the technicals mean nothing intraday on Tesla, except on days where there's like a major catalyst either way, and then it becomes really clear because that major catalyst is just trending down all day or trending up all day. But other than that, when you get into these meme stocks, you don't want to rely too much on the technicals because there's so many non-technical buyers out there that are just going to buy the dip. So that's what I'm hoping for after listening to that conference call. I'm kind of loaded in this right now. On the dip, I was buying $12 calls for next week, and I think $13 calls for next week. Again, overall, I'm still up on it. And I think this is probably a good stock to actually hold some common shares into Tuesday. Remember, market is closed on Monday. I'm going to go over my thesis about oil and Iran in just a second. But I think it might be a good idea to swing some defense tech names. There's so many defense tech names out there. You can choose what you want, but I'll come back to that in just a second. Let me go over the other top picks of the day. Okay, so that was ONDS. So ASTS hit our target, one of the biggest positions in the account. Did I show this to you, Rhett? Did I go through this already? These are our top picks of the year. Did I do that? Up 25%. Anyway, they're here. MU
I
was
believe so. Everything is
okay.
ready for that cash giveaway too. Sorry, I was
Oh
just trying
my
to get.
God, MU! I gave a target this morning of 365. My crystal
Yeah,
ball is working
every
overtime.
target hit we had here. Let me read it off.
365 target I gave, and it hit there. This is my largest position in my retirement account, my number one pick of the year after the insider buy. So that's another pick this morning, which worked out. Okay. So ASTS, ONDS, MU, then Riot. I gave an 18 to 19 target on Riot. Thank you for putting that on my radar, Rhett. We hit 1890. That's crazy. And then Galaxy, I gave a 34 to 37 target. We're in that target range. That was a swing target, but I did give the caveat that, hey, it possibly could happen today, 34 to 37. You never know if we can get that high, but it's certainly possible. Now, those are the top picks of the day. Now, there's other stuff we're looking at. But let me jump to should I do let me do the macro QQQ USO and more. Our top swing pick, by the way, is AMPX. I got a big position in that. We've been pounding the table on this over the last several days, but this looks like it's really primed to break out. I'll come back to that in a second. But first, you see this drop in oil. That's because Trump tweeted something out saying, hey, I greatly respect the fact that the leadership decided not to do the executions or something. I think that's a ruse. Man, I really think laptop travel nailed it a few days ago. I've seen a lot of analysis and I've done a lot of research regarding everything that's going on. And I really believe the odds are there's going to be a strike on Iran this weekend and probably tonight. Okay, that's what I think is going on. So I think this is all a ruse. Everything that they've been talking about that, hey, the carrier is a week away and hey, thank you for not doing the public executions. I think it's all bullshit. To catch them off guard. This is what Trump does. Okay. He did it on the first Iran strike. He did it with Venezuela. And everything's about deception and surprise. And is very good at it. Okay. And has fooled everyone, including Polymarket, which is giving like basically almost zero odds to a strike this weekend. Well, 2% for today still, 3% tomorrow, 2% for Sunday. So in any case, I think has pretty much fooled everyone except for laptop travel and myself. All right. So I'm not going to get into all the whole thesis, but I'll tell you this. I'm in USO calls that I want to sell by end of day. Now, hear me out. Maybe I'll hold a few for Tuesday, but this is what's going on. Okay. Trump is waiting for this 3-day weekend. He wants a fast, decisive victory or something he can claim as a victory. I think is going for a decapitation strike of leadership. 3 days, probably in coordination with the Israeli Air Force. Is not going to need the carrier in that case because I think Israeli Air Force will be 100% fully involved, and then they won't need to wait another decoy. That's another deception to say, hey, this carrier's 7 to 10 days away. So what's that mean? I think other and you see based on this price action, based on this drop here, it tells you that there is hot money in this predicting something happening over the weekend. All right. How much hot money is in this? 300, 400,000, 500,000. And we don't know how much is in oil futures, maybe more money in that. I'm not sure. So 500,000 shares drop, I don't know. Who knows? Millions, tens of millions of dollars. Okay. Are thinking what I'm thinking and what laptop travel's thinking. But guess what? other speculators bought it right back. Okay. Now, I am not going to hold this till Tuesday. I said maybe a little bit, because I think what Trump is going for, he wants to come out by Monday night and saying, hey, we're done with our mission, or at least we're done with phase one of our mission. It was successful. Now the rest is up to the Iranian people. Okay. I think that's the game plan here. And what that means is you could wake up to a gap up on Tuesday in markets and a gap down on oil on Tuesday if it's successful with that. So this is just a little event anticipation. I'm playing into the close on oil. But how else could this be played? I just mentioned, I think ONDS is a good stock to maybe hold into Tuesday. And I think that goes for all of the drone stocks, all of the defense tech stocks, okay, whether that's KULR. Wow, look at KULR. I think that's also in our top 30 picks of the year. AVAV, oh my God, my number one drone stock of the year. Look at that. My retirement account must be killing it today. Okay. So whether that's, even Carmen maybe will gap up, but how's Katos doing? Katos 5% is crazy. 5%, 5%, 6%, all over the place. UMAC, all right. As we saw after the Venezuela operation, yes, after the Venezuela operation, all of these defense tech and drone stocks were up like 5, 10, 15, 20%, something crazy like that in pre-market, if I'm not mistaken, okay? Therefore, I think the safer way to play my thesis, if you believe in my thesis, if you like what I just said about the deception and, hey, they're going to attack tonight, oil probably not the best way to play it, because if Trump is successful, like I said, oil will gap down on Tuesday and not gap up. All right. Now, I mean, what are the chances? I mean, it's a very messy situation. What are the chances it's going to be clean enough that there's no lingering worries that, oh my God, oil will be disrupted? There's going to be now, problems in the Middle East. There's a chance of that. That's why maybe I'll keep a little oil. But I think Trump might just pull it off. Okay. Therefore, I'm expecting, if this plays out, again, I'm expecting a gap open in QQQ, SPY, IWM, especially QQQ and SPY, because they've been lagging, and a gap down in oil, and a gap up in defense names. That's the way. Now, I'm not going to be around next week. I'm going on vacation. All right. But I'll be around in the chat room. I'm going to try to write the morning note. We will continue to probably have some live streams with Dougie Fresh Picks and Rhett and Laptop Travel. Okay. So I'm not going to take a lot of big positions into next week because I'm not trading. But that's my prediction for the war and the macro and how to play it. Look at this ONDS, beautiful, into Tuesday. Okay. Now, that brings up AMPX, which is a drone stock and a battery stock. So this is one that Godfather put on our radar some time ago. And I wasn't so into it because, I'm a story trader, which means, yes, I look at fundamentals, but I also look at catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. But very important part of that is you got to look at the fundamentals, but that's just one piece of it. So when we have the fundamental picture from the Godfather saying, hey, this is undervalued, you want to take a look at this. So that's high on my radar. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'll get a piece in my long-term retirement account, but for the short-term trading account, I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. That right opportunity means let's get a catalyst. Let's make sure sentiment's on our side. Let's get a good catalyst, maybe if we can, an inflection catalyst, and let's get those technicals to turn. Right now, we have a perfect storm brewing with AMPX. All four pillars coming together, which is why it's my largest position in my trade account right now. There's so much here. So, some free alpha, but our Discord community got in much lower, all right, in the 9s and even lower. So now I'm telling you guys, but there's a lot left on the table, and I actually keep increasing my position and averaging up because we're about to go. Let's talk about first the sentiment pillar from story trading, the 4 sentiment pillars. Like I said, this has characteristics of a drone stock and a battery stock. They make lightweight batteries for drones. Okay. So that tailwind, sector tailwind, if you look at this chart and compare it to all the other drone charts, okay. No, Kuehler doesn't count. The more popular ones like UMAC and AVAV and Katos and RCAT. Oh my God, Katos, right? It's really underperforming. Okay. It's really underperforming. So, now it can catch up. It can catch up with that sentiment. Why now? Why can it catch up? Well, because one of the catalysts that I really started getting in big here is, man, what day was it? It was somewhere in here. Maybe it was here. It was January 12th. I think it was January 12th. Yes. The morning of January 12th, they issued a press release saying, we're done with our ATM. We raised such and such amount of money in Q4, and now we're closing the ATM. Very positive catalyst. That happened on January 12th. That's when I started loading up. Okay. So now that was a catalyst. We got the fundamentals that is undervalued. We have the sentiment of the two hot sectors. Now let's look at the technicals. Technicals, beautiful, right? You broke above the 20. You get the catalyst to say, hey, we're moving to the 50 based on that catalyst. Now we're above the 50 with an RSI that's not overbought yet on the daily, and it's not overbought yet on the weekly. Okay, so I gave you this. See this? 1250. That's the target. That's the target I've been talking about. Still another $1.50 to go. I've been talking about this in our Discord almost every morning and in our morning note every morning, 1250 target. But take a look at this too. Look what I saw. February, $12 calls. See that open interest? Wow. Did we just get more? Holy shits. Whoa, it's going off. This is what I saw the other day. January 12th, I think it was, wow, 15,000. Hold on a second. Let me zoom in. I want to remind myself how big that situation was there on it was right here. It was this is January 15th. Again, I'm on the 30. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's use the 30-minute candles. Here we go. January 12th, 10:30 a.m. Okay. 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000. So 12,000 of these calls were bought out of the blue there. And now it's just unless this person just sold right now. I don't know. Very possible. What's that? What's the volume on this candle? 5,000. Anyway, that would still just be half it. Then we had another big candle here. So we got big money speculators coming into this thing. And here's something else I saw. When I tell you the stars are aligned, they're aligned. What else did I see on AMPX? Check out the warrants, which is a type of longer-term option on this. AMPX warrants. Look at this candle right there. Look at the volume. This one sticks out. This probably happened the same day of the catalyst I told you about. So 500,000 volume. Volume precedes price. The speculators are taking positions with leverage right now. So the stars are aligned here on AMPX, and it's my largest swing position with a 1250 target. Galaxy yesterday, but I should have stuck with it. I should have focused more on it today. Anyway, right, I think, did I cover all the top picks that hit their targets? ASTS hit the target. Okay, ONDS hit the target. MU hit the target. Riot hit the target. I'm missing one. What was the fifth pick of the day?
Come on, how do you forget it? It's called Galaxy, baby.
Galaxy.
34 target, 34 to
37.
Yep.
But I'm already out of it, which I should have made so much money on Galaxy because in December I bought $30 call options for this week, and then I when I sold them? I sold them after the first 2 days in January. I sold them, and now look. Oh my God, so many regrets. Okay, but in any case, it's okay. You're overperforming the market pretty well, and I guess that's all that matters. All right, look at ASTS. Wow. How big can this mother of all short squeezes get? I stepped back in with a couple common shares, Rhett, in my trade account. Very little. It's a 3% common share position right now. It's tough. It's tough to buy up 17%, but this is a real short squeeze. The short's got to cover up here. And by the way, I have like a $200 target for this year, and it is one of my picks for the Wolf Spaces competition of the year, which we won last year with ASTS and Root. This year, I initially had ASTS and Micron. Should have left it, but I switched out Micron last second for Webull. But I'm still winning that competition because of ASTS. We'll see if Webull can pull it off. Look at ONDS. I gotta check my orders and the call options here a second. Give me a second.
All right, well, you do that, but I'm gonna say. So for all of you guys tuning in today, you can head on over to the Story Trading IR account on X, storytrading_IR, and all you have to do is like and retweet the pinned tweet that's up in the account, and you can enter for a chance to win $100 today. And it's also down below where it says the banner, like and retweet the pin post on X story trading underscore IR to enter. $100. We'll spin the wheel at 2 p.m. for you guys. So stay tuned and don't miss out on a free $100 for someone.
I'm trying to get like a 30% gain on some of these calls I picked up near the low day. It's only up 30%. Weird. I mean, well, I picked them up at the right time, but they're not really moving so much. 1 second. 20. Oh yeah. Yeah, not superb. In at 112, out at 145. I sold half of them though. The $12 calls. What is that? 145 to 112. Let's see. 145 minus 112 divided by 112. Oh, yeah, 30%. Okay, but I'm still down on the 13. It was at 1350 calls actually that I bought way too early, like around here, around 9:50 a.m. I bought 1350 calls, so we got to deal with that still. Interesting. See that oil at the end of the day, they didn't care about that tweet from Trump. See what else we got going on here. Yeah, and AMPX looking spectacular. Bull was the most disappointing of all the names we picked for January. Bull the most disappointing, and it really sidetracked me. And by the way, did something change here with? I can't put my subtitle in. Oh, there it is. Edit name and headline. Now it's there. Okay. Let me fix it. I wasn't showing before. Does it maybe only shows once you go live? Okay, just fix that. Just texting you something, right? Okay. Yeah, Bull the most disappointing. Because it was actually the only one that I decided to, in my trade account, get like call options in for like the summer, July, August. Imagine if I did it with these, it was just all my top 30 picks of the year. It was only in my long-term retirement account, and I didn't do any call options, and none of it was in my trade account. None of these, except for Redwire, which Redwire was great at the beginning of the year. Wow, up 58%. Oh my gosh, SkyT's up 81%. I might have to sell more. I don't know, man. I may have to get all out of SkyT at this point. I need the money for other stuff. Wow. Hold on. Let me see how much SkyT I have left. But yeah, all these tickers were chosen on Christmas Day, given to our Discord on Christmas Day. Imagine if that's all you did. So I already sold some SkyT. Hold on. That is craziness. Wow. Dude, you know what? I think I am. I think I'm going to sell the rest of the SkyT here. Lock it in, right? Because there are definitely other opportunities and I can use that cash. So I'm going to send an alert out. We're ready. I already sent the alert out last week to reduce SkyT and rotate that into air. So AEHR after a great quarter. And look at that. Air has done superb since that quarter. And just as a reminder, you know what? We got to put like some information on this sheet so people know what they're looking at. This is a fixed static sheet, not changing it. Okay. Just as a track record, these were picks for the year. It was meant for people who are not really engaged with the market too much. That hey, what could they buy for the year, and then we can see at the end of the year how they did. For trading and active management, we have a long-term channel, long-term ideas channel in our Discord, and I'll send out notifications of updates. So one of them was to reduce SkyT and rotate into air. So you're not going to see that on this spreadsheet, but this is amazing, man. 46% on the defense tech, 54% on space, Katos up 73%, SkyT 81%. Can you believe Katos 73%? Wow. And I Did I add that? I didn't add all 30. Let me see. I think I got Carmen instead. Yeah, I bought Carmen instead. Oh well. Well, that's 50%. I can't complain too much. Um, in any case, just if you're looking at the sheet, this link is shared publicly. Uh, just so you know what you're looking at. All right, it's not going to change. All right, if you're looking for, hey, is Ben still in this? You got to join our Discord to know if we're making changes. I think I just got an alert about IWM hitting another new high. There it is. Wow. SPY, QQQ, everything is pumping. We did get a green alert, a green signal this morning, so that was a good call. With the markets all pumping on our green signal on our macro call this morning in our morning note, which I now send out usually by 5:30 a.m., which is crazy because I wake up at 4:30 a.m. to write that, or to finish writing it. I start it the night before and I finish it in an hour, 4:30 to 5:30. Oh, Lunar! I picked up some Lunar in the trade account earlier. This one I do have in the long-term retirement account because it is one of the top 30 picks of the year. Oh, I didn't pick up in that much Lunar. Never mind. To make a dent, 1%. I picked up a 1% position earlier. Wow, this UMAC has been crazy lately. After that nice Needham conference. Wow. Yep. Riley's now popping up. I mean, everything's popping up right now. What's not popping up right now? Wow. And again, this one's really attractive. A UMAC or an Ondis or any of the drone stocks. We could see massive gap ups on Tuesday morning if my thesis turns out to be true. So I may look to diversify that and not just hold ONDS, but I may want to hold, 3 or 4 names, defense tech names, into Tuesday morning. Right. Anyway, I've talked a lot. What are the comments here? No, Sam, I'm actually not holding QQQ calls. Look, I'm the analyst. Sam, you should tell me, like I always say, I'm not a great trader. I'm a great analyst, even though, I was up 667% last year. But if I was a great trader, I would have been up like 5,000%. You guys are much better traders than me. So, Sam, you tell me if you like my thesis and if you're going to buy QQQ calls based on my thesis, you tell me what you're doing. All right. And maybe I'll follow you. It's tough to be good at everything. I excel at telling the future. I don't excel at execution. Okay. Rhett, you got any thoughts on all of that before we go to our interview?
No, I think you pretty much covered it all, everything that I'm looking at. Just thoughts. I will be selling a lot of stuff here towards the end of the day. And that's pretty much it. I want to be I think I'm just going to go to all cash into the weekend because it is a 3-day weekend because we have that Monday off for a holiday for MLK Day. So I'm just looking to start reducing all of this stuff as it's sitting here popping up right now.
Beautiful. All right. So we're going to, in 2 minutes, start our interview with the CEO of NMTC, Rosa. So this is a new name for us. I always love new names. We've done a whole bunch of interviews with Sinestec and Mobilicom, and who else have we been interviewing? There's been more, but oh yeah, the one that didn't work out, Tonex. Unfortunately, that one didn't work out, but those other two have treated us well. So this is going to be a new interview with a new company I'm not familiar with at all. So very interested to learn about this medical device company. I believe it is NMTC, Neuro One, market cap of $46 million. There's obviously going to be a sponsored space. I don't have a position yet. I'm very transparent with all this stuff. Like yesterday when I was doing the Mobilicom interview, I bought shares live on air. So I'm very transparent and immediate to tell you guys if I'm taking a position, if I'm not taking a position, if I own it long term, if I don't. All right. But of course, you got to be in our Discord to get all of those updates. So let's see.
That being said, you want me to hit the countdown and then we'll switch over?
1 second. We'll hit the countdown at 1:30. I'll buy ATM calls for Wednesday at the money. I think you may be right here. Wow, Sam likes my thesis. So Sam likes my thesis. All right, I'll have to collaborate with Sam. Make sure to tag me on the Discord if you don't mind, Sam, when you make that trade. And look at this. I think also the better bet is to get into these defense tech stocks, because whether it's a success or not, the defense tech stocks will gap up and go Tuesday morning. But oil on the markets, if it's messy or if it's not messy, can be a little trickier. All right, with that, let's hit the countdown. Stay tuned on here, because after the other side of the interview, we're doing a $100 cash giveaway, and we're going to continue live trading for another half hour after that. Welcome to the show, Dave Rosa. How are you? CEO of NMTC, Neuro One Medical Technologies. How's it going?
I'm doing great. A little bit cold. We're here in Minnesota, and it looks like a blizzard outside.
Oh my gosh.
You might see me blowing on my hands a little bit just because it's a little cold today.
Yeah, Minnesota's been in the news a lot lately. So there you are in the heart of the storm.
Yeah.
Very cold. It was a low 20s this morning where I am in New York, and I took a walk out there. It was something. But even colder where you are, huh?
It is. And it probably feels a lot colder than it is just because of the wind.
Right. Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome to get to meet you, Dave. I'd like to start with just a little background about yourself and when you got involved with the company, what your background is, and when and why you got involved with the company, if we can start there.
Sure. In short, I've spent about now 35 years in the med tech industry, and it's really working with a combination of both early stage as well as multi-billion-dollar med tech giants. And how I got involved with Neuro One, I actually was retired and was approached by the co-founders, and they were asking me for some help on the financing side. And the more diligence I did with the technology, the more I felt like the story here was maybe much greater than just a diagnostic story, which is really what the two co-founders, felt was the main part of the story. And after about 9 months meeting with doctors from the Mayo Clinic, which happens to be a current investor, the initial investor, and a business partner, as well as the University of Wisconsin, I really was convinced that there's a much bigger opportunity here. And that's what really got me to get involved.
When was that? How long have you been with the company?
Actually, I was the first employee at the end of 2016. We really got started in 2017.
Wow, almost 10 years you've been doing this. Amazing. So you were the first employee. You started as a CEO, or you started a different position?
I started as the CEO.
Wow, that's great. I like that when you have someone who's been the CEO for a long time. That's beautiful. I love that. If it's public or if it's not public, it's up to you. What kind of vested interest you may or may not have in the company?
Yeah, I've got a vested interest, and currently it's probably around 5%.
Okay, cool. So started 10 years ago, 5% vested interest. And you're in Minnesota? That's where the headquarters are?
Correct.
All right, great. And how many employees are out there? Is that your only location?
No, we have another location where we have another office in California.
Okay.
And we also have employees kind of scattered throughout. So we've got employees international in New York, in Pennsylvania. But with that said, we've got 17 total employees.
Okay, cool. All right. Very nice. Sorry. calling me. I just put on Do Not Disturb. Sorry for that.
No problem.
All right. Um, so I'd like to kind of start with, let's start with your product. Tell us about your product, and then once we know how that works, I want to hear about the opportunity in the total addressable market for that product.
Sure. So NeuroOne makes electrodes. That's what we do. And we make electrodes that currently today are used for neurosurgical procedures. And these are procedures in the brain, primarily today for patients suffering from epilepsy. Our devices are also being developed for pain management. We actually have clearance for a device that treats facial pain. It's also known as trigeminal neuralgia. Back pain, we have 2 different programs for that. And then also drug delivery. And I'll kind of show you what these devices look like. Let me see if this looks a little clearer. So that's a picture of our thin film electrode. This is just another, a different size that does the same thing. And then the device that gets the most utilization looks like this. You can barely see it, but it's 0.8 millimeters in diameter. And I've also got some help from a friend today. When these devices, this is the guy, when these devices are put in place, this is what they look like in a patient's brain.
And is this something that has to be done in a clinic or a doctor's office, or you do it at home?
Yeah, so the devices for epilepsy, which by the way, the whole purpose for the procedure is to find the problem area in the brain that's triggering the seizure, and then using the same device to then ablate that tissue, destroy that tissue, with the hope that you're going to eliminate the seizures. The procedure to put the devices, these initial devices in, this is done in the operating room. But one of the neat features of the technology is that when it's time for the ablation, our ablation system is wheeled into the patient's room, connected to the devices, and done right there.
Okay. And when were these devices approved?
So in the last set, which are the ones that combine diagnostic and therapeutic capabilities, they were cleared in 2024, late 2024. We signed a distribution agreement with Zimmer Biomet in October of 2024, and they commercialized the device last year.
So it's been a year, basically. Over a year.
Just about a year.
Is that the first or only product that's approved, or?
It's the only one that the FDA has given a clearance for to do both diagnostic and therapeutics.
I like that, because that means you just recently had an inflection to bringing in revenue. That's great. So how's the revenue grown since that started?
Yeah, when you look prior to the clearance of this device, we had announced that we had about $3 million in revenue, and then the last fiscal year, which ended September 30th, 2025, we announced that we tripled revenue and did slightly over $9 million.
Oh, that's pretty good. Tripled.
Yeah.
For a small company, that's pretty impressive. I mean, how many of your employees are sales reps?
0.
So how are they how's this being prescribed? How are people hearing about it?
Yeah, it's being sold through an agreement that we have with Zimmer Biomet. So Zimmer Biomet actually markets a robot, and that robot drills the holes into the patient's skull so that these devices can then be advanced. So they more or less they had the razor. Consider us, our device to be the razor blade. So it was kind of a nice marriage, so to speak.
Okay. Great. And is that, as far as the next, you see your revenue growth coming from this product, or you have other things that you're more excited about?
So we just late last year got clearance for this same technology. This one right here, which is actually the picture of the devices in the brain. This was cleared to treat facial pain. And trigeminal neuralgia, the suicide rates have been estimated to be 25%. For people that suffer from this condition. It's an excruciating pain that they experience. We announced that we did the first 2 cases last month. Both patients were pain-free after the procedure was done. We will be updating the market next quarter. It'll be actually next month for our earnings release on additional cases that have been done. But the revenue for that technology has not been baked into our plan. Okay. So that represents upside. We've also said that last year we sold a few of these devices to pharma companies for evaluation purposes for drug delivery. We expect to see some sales also this year, which would represent complete upside. And then we have this back pain program, which one part of the program is stimulation to treat lower back pain. The other is ablation using the same system that we have to ablate brain tissue, facial tissue. We're in discussions with strategics for both of those technologies, and there's been nothing baked in our plan. So we really think that the plan that we have today has a tremendous amount of upside in fiscal 2026.
Okay, and out of all those things you just spoke about, like which one is the product that's most likely to contribute to meaningful revenue growth over the next 1 to 2 years?
So I'll call it the ablation platform because there's 3 technologies: the brain, the face, and then the spine. So hopefully we'll be able to get the clearance to treat lower back pain, and if that's the case, those 3 separate systems would generate the most revenue. Drug delivery also.
So sorry, I want to get this clear.
Yep.
Brain, face, and spine. But that first one you told me about that was approved a little over a year ago. Which one is that for?
So that's for treating epilepsy patients for, in essence, stopping seizures.
So that's brain. That's in the brain.
That's brain, and that's what represented $9 million in revenue.
Got it.
For the last fiscal year.
Okay, so between those 3, brain, face, and spine, I mean, this one's already contributed meaningfully. So can we expect that to be the main revenue driver over the next whatever number of quarters, or is something going to, with face and spine, going to leapfrog it here in the next foreseeable future, you think?
Yeah, I look, there's no guarantees to anything, but I do think that the spine, once we get clearance for that, I think that could eclipse what we're doing in the brain.
Really? Okay. And what's the estimated time frame to get clearance for the spine?
It's a little bit difficult to assess now because we're working with an outside vendor to develop the access tools. So the electrode, say all the equipment that does the ablation that we control, that's more or less the easy part, but you also need tools to be able to get the device in. And we still don't have a timeline back from them. Our last ablation for facial pain, it took about 1.5 years from when we started the development until we got a clearance.
Okay. And then when you get the clearance, will be marketed through the same partnership you have with Zimmer?
No. So Zimmer doesn't have an interest in the spine. We're having separate discussions with multiple strategics for both the ablation system for the spine as well as this stimulation technology for the spine. So it's likely to be a partnership with a different strategic.
Okay. So we're still waiting for those approvals for face and spine. We got that approval for brain, but you think the spine can maybe have even a bigger upside once that gets approved. Is that all correct?
Yes, except that we do have the approval, the clearance for treating facial pain. That's what I had mentioned. We just did our first couple cases last month.
All right. But do you have a partnership for that? Was that with Zimmer or that's something?
We're in discussions with a strategic for that. Right, so I do expect to have a strategic partnership that we announced this year for that.
Okay, cool. And then let's get into the TAM for, I don't know if you want to break it down by brain, face, or spine, or just, the whole thing together. But what's your TAM here?
Yeah, so I'm going to give it to you in 3 different segments because that's the way our businesses are set up. It's kind of above the neck, pain management, and then drug delivery. So the smallest today, and I'm going to give you not not market potential, but actual revenue. We'll call it the market that's been penetrated. So this is the revenue being generated by companies in the space.
Okay.
Above the neck today, it's over $100 million, probably somewhere between 100 and 120 million if you factor in both brain and face. In the spine, you're talking in the billions. Spinal cord stimulation alone is in excess of 3 billion. The numbers for low back pain ablation are at about a little over 100 million, but there's been now a second large strategic striker that entered that space. It is supposedly one of the fastest growing spine procedures. So I expect those numbers to go up dramatically. Mm-hmm. And then drug delivery, if you read analyst reports on what the potential is for that, it's in the billions. It's not there yet. It's probably at about 30 million. But once these drugs get approved, you're going to start to see those numbers rapidly increase.
And are these U.S. numbers or worldwide numbers you just gave me?
Yeah, so the majority of that is U.S. only. Okay. Not really sure what some of the international numbers are for those businesses.
Okay, and the spine, which is that, now I understand why you're most excited about the spine, because that's a much bigger TAM than for the brain. But the spine, does that go under the above neck category?
No. Pain. So pain management is, there's the three businesses are above the neck, pain management, and pain management is strictly today lower back pain. The facial pain is captured in the above the neck category, and then drug delivery.
So wait, I didn't get it. Okay, lower back pain is 100 million. That's pain. Spine, you said it's 3 billion, but what is spine? Which category is that for you? Pain management or?
So there's two pieces to pain management. One piece is ablation. Okay. And that market is about 100 million. And I said that area for that procedure is rapidly growing. The spinal cord stimulation business, so it's a different way of treating lower back pain for a different problem in the spine. That's what's in excess of 3 billion.
Okay, so it's spine, but that spine is a type of way to deal with lower back pain.
Yes.
So it's part of the pain management. Okay, so that's your biggest.
I think the spine has two pieces: spinal cord stimulation and ablation in the spine.
Got it. Okay. Okay, cool. And then so lost my train of thought here. I'm just trying to absorb so much new information. All right. So, oh yes. Now I got that. How about competition? The devices you showed me. Yeah. Tell me about competition.
Well, today there is no company that has a clearance to do both diagnostics and therapeutics. There's only companies like Boston Scientific makes a probe that just ablates brain tissue, but it doesn't have diagnostic capabilities. And the same can be true. There's smaller companies that only have diagnostic capabilities. So today we're the only show in town that has a clearance to do both. And then in the spine, for the ablation piece for back pain, Stryker, Boston Scientific have systems for that. And then in terms of spinal cord stimulation, all the giants are involved in that. So you have Globus, Boston Scientific, Abbott, and Medtronic. And in particular there, we're really looking to partner with a company that's already established in that space. Drug delivery, the only company that really competes with us in the space today would be ClearPoint.
Okay. Cool. We actually have some comments coming in, so I'll get to those. Actually, let me put this because this is referring competitive products. I don't know. Does this comment mean anything to you? I don't know what BTLIND has an AI that maps the brain and treats the brain with TMS. Any thoughts on that?
That's there's so many different ways that you can do brain mapping. But what I'm referring to specifically are the technologies that place devices in the brain to record the electrical activity in the brain to find the problem area. That's a completely different type of technology.
Okay. And someone's asking here, how many treatments do patients?
Sorry, you're frozen. I couldn't hear what you asked.
Sorry, I put the question on the screen. I don't know if you can see it. It says, how many treatments do patients typically need?
For brain ablation or facial pain?
Why don't you say it for both? But I don't know by the time he responds.
Yeah, so for facial pain, the data says that patients are 95% pain-free if they have 2 applications. Now, so far, our patients have had 1 and are pain-free. So we'll have to see if it needs to be done again. In terms of brain ablation, just because of how our system was designed, if, for example, the patient had an ablation, yet after the ablation was still experiencing symptoms for epilepsy, they could treat them right in their room before ever discharging them. So far, with the data we have, we don't know of anyone that's been brought back to have a repeat ablation with our system, but there have been patients that have received an additional ablation while they're still in the hospital. So, the goal here is to do it in one shot. So that's what I would say for that.
Okay. I'd like to get into financials a little bit. When it comes to investing in small companies, microcaps, the $1 million question is always, what's your path to profitability? Roughly when can we get there? Because, the difficulty, as you know, is, especially for small companies, is if you need capital, that's great. No problem with needing capital to get to profitability, but the public markets are not very nice to small companies who need capital, right? So why don't we start with, what your runway is and maybe how much revenue you need to get to break even.
So what we've said publicly is that we're very confident that we have funding through fiscal year 2026.
And that's based. When does that fiscal year end for you?
September 30th.
Okay.
And there's, I kind of referenced it early on, but there's a tremendous amount of upside because the plan that we're operating off of only is based on our distribution partner, Zimmer Biomet's, if they purchase the minimums in the contract that we signed with them last year, in late 2024. And there's no revenue baked in for facial pain. There's no revenue baked in for any other technology we have, even drug delivery. So there's plenty of upside here. It also doesn't factor in any licensing revenues that we would expect to realize. So, my comment to investors would be, and we've said this publicly, we're very close to cash flow break even. And if one or a few of these things happen this year, that should get us there.
Okay.
So the company has no debt. And we, as of 2 days ago, 4 million, and that's a ballpark number, out of 6 million outstanding warrants expired.
Oh, cool.
There's only about a little over 2 million warrants that remain. And the average exercise price on those is $1.34.
$1.34. Now I gotta remind myself where their stock price is at. Let me look it up.
It was roughly around
91 cents. And $1.34, 2 million. When do those expire?
So they expire at different points. It's in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
The rest of them should expire.
Okay. And you said very close to break even. Are you able to kind of quantify what you were at? 9 million total revenue, was it? Or is that your run rate?
It was slightly over 9 million for the last fiscal year. So we haven't given that number publicly. And remember, it may not be dependent. It may not be dependent just on revenue because I would expect to see some licensing revenues as well kick in this year.
Okay, that 9 million, that was a total revenue or the run rate at the end of the year?
No, that was the total revenue for fiscal
Okay.
2025.
Okay. So what's your maybe quarterly run rate last reported at?
It's going to depend on the ordering pattern from Zimmer.
Uh-huh.
But what I would say is you should expect to see an increase from fiscal 2025, but we haven't given guidance yet on what that is.
Okay. But the last reported quarter, what was your revenue in the last?
I think it was about 3 million.
3
somewhere
million,
close to
right?
it.
So
So
if
we had a
you,
very large stocking order,
I see. Okay.
and then the revenue was less in fiscal in fiscal 2025. The second quarter was less, and then it started to increase again.
Okay.
Is what you would
So
expect to see.
I got it. So you had 3 million, but you don't necessarily expect 3 million again in the sequential quarter because you had a large stocking order, but then it's going to rise from there. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right. So you got until can you tell me a little bit if you do need more capital? Hopefully you don't. You never know, right? Maybe you get some big catalyst and like you're talking about, and that gets you over the hump. But if you do need to raise capital, what's your kind of philosophy on that, and how do you handle that with the dealings with these sharks?
Yeah. So if we did need capital, it would be a small amount, and we have an ATM that's open for about that's got the capacity for about 6.7 million. So if we wanted to do something, my philosophy would be if there was news out there and the share price was surging, then that's a nice way to kind of top it off and get to cash flow break even. But that's only I would only look at that opportunistically.
Right, absolutely, and that's the best way to do it because then you don't have to deal with new warrants. I love ATMs for small companies if you can pull it off. So that's good. Okay, so I think you mentioned this before, but we only have a few minutes left, so I just want to, for me, the most important thing I always like to emphasize to really come away with is what sort of catalyst can get you over the top quickly. You mentioned it before. I call these inflection catalysts, right?
Sure.
So like is there an opportunity in calendar year 2026 for an inflection catalyst to really kind of get you to hockey stick growth and get you over that hurdle in terms of, because the whole thing is you want to get to especially with microcaps, you want to get to a position where the retail investors feel comfortable that they can invest in the stock without being hit with like a bad offering, a toxic offering, with these sharks that they're like, oh, now you have the ATM, so hopefully you can use that if the stock price rises. But that's the whole fear, and that's the whole thing that gets you over the hump, right? Is that, hey, you got this inflection catalyst that gets you over the hump. We no longer have to do an offering and issue all these toxic warrants. So are there any inflection catalysts that can get you over that hump in calendar year 2026, and what would it be?
Yeah, I think we got multiple shots on goal with respect to that. So I think the biggest one would be a strategic partnership. So I've said we have discussion going on now for facial pain. We have multiple discussions going on for spinal cord stimulation, as well as ablation in the spine. And I also think the potential to announce a strategic partnership with a pharma company in 2026 are all things that are in play. And I think if any of those occur, I think you could see that hockey stick like.
That'd be great. And with any of these relationships typically come with any upfront cash?
So far, we've gotten upfront cash on every agreement that we've had in place.
Wow. Okay.
So the answer is yes.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Well, we're pretty much at the end of our time here. Is there anything else you want to add that we didn't get to?
No, I think we covered all the highlights.
All right, awesome. Dave, so nice meeting you. Be in touch. We'll be looking forward to your progress and watching that news feed for updates.
Thanks a lot.
Yep. And everyone else, stay here. Sorry, Dave, just before you go, just want to let everyone else stay here. We're going to continue on our live stream, do live trading for the next half hour. We're going to give $100 cash away to someone right now. Take care,
I'm
Dave.
gonna have to wait and watch that.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was very interesting. New company. Looks like they have a pathway to profitability. Very interesting stuff. So you can go ahead. We're going to clip that later. So it'll be available on our social media on YouTube. Make sure you're following our Story Trading Spotlight account, right? It's called Story Trading Spotlight.
Yep.
Yeah,
Story
make
Trading
sure-
Spotlight or Story Trading _IR.
IR. Make sure you're following that so you can get the links and the replays and the highlight video. Hold on. I might want to take a little bit of profit on ONDS. It's come up like $1 over here. 1 second. And I was down big on it earlier. So let me just take a little bit of profit here as we're getting these red candles kind of peeking out here. All right. So in any case, we're going to be doing a $100 giveaway. Why don't you tell folks the instructions again, how to do that? We'll do that right here at the end of the live trading session.
Yeah, definitely. So what you guys can do is head on over to x.com, then just search in the search bar Story Trading _IR Story Trading Spotlight, and it's going to be the pinned tweet on that account. And all you have to do is like and retweet, and that's your enter to win the $100. And that's pretty much it.
All right, cool. How many people qualified for that so far?
Let me see. Right. So far, it looks like we have 13 qualified people.
Wow. Okay. So, did I sell Luna already? I thought I don't think I sold it. I did. So yeah, you got almost a 10% chance of winning.
Yep.
And we're gonna send that over to you, Venmo or PayPal.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, I did sell Lunar. I sold it too early. Look at that. Crazy day.
Oh, wait. It's not it.
You know what I added? I added because I'm looking at I'm looking at UMAC just like completely going crazy here. And I noticed that RCAT was underperforming. By the way, I thought RCAT's guidance and their valuation, their market cap versus their guidance, I thought RCAT was actually much more impressive than UMAC. Or RCAT's come back into my good graces. I wrote them off for a long time. But not only was it good guidance, but it was also good investor conference at Needham that I listened to. So yeah, I'm noticing that, hey, UMAC's already up 9%. If we do get that military action over the weekend, and if all these defense tech names are up, then RCAT might be something good to pick up here at break even rather than UMAC, which is already up 8%. Because again, I expect if that happens, these stocks to be up 5, 10, 15% Tuesday morning. So I just picked up some RCAT to swing into Tuesday based on that thesis. So you might want to look at that. Wait, I took some profits on ONDS there and it comes right back up. It's okay. Got to manage that risk in case it kept going down. All right. What else do we got going on here at Luna? I can't believe I just sold freaking Lunar and it just keeps going. Can you believe this? Riley Ross, I'd sold down here because I was just trying to protect my capital. You asked me where's the support on this. I told you 828. I sold in the 830s. I told you 828. It hit 825. I'm quite sure you executed on that and it jumped right back up. I did notice it coming back up, so I took a small scalp in here. But yeah, it did not work out the way I wanted here in the last 2 days overall. But it's, great earnings report, big short position, and it looks like buyers picked up that 828 support. You could see where I got that from. It's basically the gap fill, 828 right there. That's how I see. I don't do this. I don't go here and say, hey, the gap fill is 754. I go kind of backwards in time and look for the highest candle, and there it is at 828. That's how I found that support, and it worked almost to the penny. 825. I wish I had conviction or executed based on my own advice. So anyway, what do you look at that? And while we're gone, Riot hit the high end target we gave, 18 to 19, hit 19 today. Unbelievable. Pretty much all of our targets hitting. The only thing left is for Galaxy to go to 30, all the way to 37. By the way, another swing pick, ASPI, exploding right here. They had a beautiful catalyst with Meta and Terraform Power agreeing to that the other day. That was on January 9th. This is one of my larger. I think it's. Let me see what my position size is on ASPI. It's not crazy large. It's 5% common, 2% calls. I have April 17th, $8 calls. This thing is just gearing up to break above that 200 DMA. Man, next week can be fun on this name. How much are these calls? Let me see. I'm thinking, do I want to add more? April. April's not bad. It gets you through maybe IPO news too. Wow, look at that. Oh, the 200 DMA. Oh my gosh, I love it. Let me see. Maybe I'll go up a contract. Although I don't know if I tax loss sold that one at 9s at 10. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Wow. Dude, I'm thinking of adding more. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking of adding more contracts here. I think I'm gonna do it because this could be the beginning of a breakout. I just averaged up on my calls. Isn't that insane? I just averaged up. All right. Averaged up on the calls. $8 April 17th. Let's see. This is one that I've been predicting a $10 plus target on in Q1. Man, Lunar. I should have been all over this one this morning.
So I reduced a little bit of my ASTS position.
What's that now?
It's up there. I did that a little bit ago.
118.
Sold a little over 200 shares.
Oh, you're talking about your long-term shares, yeah.
My long-term shares, yeah.
Yeah, I already reduced this morning. But
looks like I may regret it though. Looks like it's just riding up this 20. So
yeah, I have
let's
a
see.
couple hundred shares in my trade account. Nothing special. Wow, look at this UMAC go. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna take that scalp gain on ASTS right here. Did that UMAC RCAT. Wow, ASPI. I wonder. Wow, this is great on ASPI. Dude, if the S1 comes out in the next week or so, this thing will be up
gone
30-40% in a day.
Definitely. Yeah, Lunar's, look at that. Lunar looks great too.
I know, and I saw it earlier this morning. I saw it last night on the news too, and I didn't really do much about it, unfortunately. Along with Redwire, it's just you can't be everywhere, man. That's the thing.
No.
And Fly too. I picked up at like 31, but I didn't stick with it. I just wanted to just consolidate. You know what I usually do is like in the morning on the news feeds, like I'll pick up a bunch of things in case it explodes, like a name I'm familiar with good news. But then I will do our show at 9 o'clock, and then I'll start consolidating and I'll sell things off, and just so I can focus on a few picks for the day. But it's so frustrating through that process. I'll end up selling something, that I got in at a super good price because I got in right when the news came out, and it'll be up like 30-40% that day, and I'm like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just part of my process.
Yeah, I think in the next week or two we could see UMAC probably next week at all-time highs. Last time we were at all-time highs is when that week of November of 24. That's when Donald Trump Jr. Joined the board for UMAC.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looks great. We were in this the day before it exploded. That was crazy. We were for all those people who like to claim they're first out there. We were in UMAC we got in on November 25th or November 26th right before this volume and this explosion, because we were interviewing the CEO, because we had previously interviewed the CEO of RCAT, and then we were so early in this whole drone space, crazy. We had interviewed the CEO of RCAT, and then we heard about UMAC. So he said, all right, let's go get the CEO of UMAC. We interviewed the CEO of UMAC, and then I think it was literally the next morning that the news came about Donald Trump Jr. joining the board, and we were just all over that. That was actually my biggest winner of 2024, I think. So that was a lot of fun. UMAC and us go way back.
Yeah, at least for a couple of years now. So someone's asking about our thoughts on Microsoft and XOM.
Yeah, before I answer that, I am still in BZI. It's a January effect play. I did it with common shares only because I didn't really like the. Oh, here we're going. Hold on, let me check my position size. It's not so big, 4%. By the way, you'll see my allocations every single day in the morning, though. You'd see it there. And I didn't change anything today, so you'll see that position size. So the next target was this 50 DMA, 234. It looks like it will definitely tag that 50 DMA, if not today, on Tuesday, notwithstanding a market crash, if that happens because of war or something. But that's the next target. And man, it would be so beautiful if we can break 234 on some news. You really got to break 250 then, and then ultimately make a run to the 200 DMA at $3. And definitely think the fundamentals can support a price up there at $3 based on the work Godfather has done. So potentially another 30-40% left in this stock, but we may have to see a meaningful catalyst to unlock that. So I'm still in it. Thoughts on Microsoft? Look, I own Microsoft, one of the top 30 picks of the year. I had early on got into Microsoft because of OpenAI and ChatGPT, but the sentiment's really changed, as you can see here. A lot of the sell-off actually has to do with poor sentiment around OpenAI, and actually, if you compare this to Google, you'll see money going right out of Microsoft and into Google, as people picking winners and thinking that Gemini is going to beat ChatGPT. Now, I hope that's not the case because I have a lot of private shares of ChatGPT, OpenAI, but that's what's going on here. And actually, I had to pick up Google in my retirement account to hedge the private shares of OpenAI I have, but I never sold to Microsoft though, and maybe I should because I've been seeing that's very sensitive to OpenAI news and positive Google news. It's just so honestly, like I don't know, but Microsoft's a great company, so it's like a blue chip you can own in a long-term account. I would not. It's not like a top 30 stock for me. No, I would if you're looking for some like alpha with a big cap out of the the big caps. I'm not even counting Micron. That's like a smaller cap out of like the mega caps. I think Amazon. I would go Amazon or Google. Amazon or Google, I think, are better than Microsoft. They just have some nice tailwinds and valuations, but they're all safe for the long term. That's my thought on Microsoft. So like sell Google and buy Microsoft pair trade. No, I mean people have been doing the opposite, right? People have been selling Microsoft and going long Google as a pair trade. Once that new Gemini version was added, that's what they've been doing. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just explaining the price action. All right. So, but overall, I think Google and Amazon are probably better mega caps than Microsoft. That's just my opinion. I don't know, Rhett, if you have an opinion on that.
Yeah, out of all those, I personally like Amazon, especially with all the companies they've been acquiring over the years. I think that's really going to start to pay out for them here in the over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and I don't know why they keep dragging their feet on making Alexa smarter. I've been waiting for a long time for Amazon Alexa to turn into a therapist, right? Which you have, right? You have it with all the chatbots on your phone. You could do that. Have a friend, a therapist, whatever you want, right? It's pretty wild. But this is a device that's sitting in your room. It's just so much more amenable to it. And I think there's major lost opportunity that they didn't jump on this a long time ago. It's still just dumb, right? Alexa. I mean, right? Have they announced anything, Brett?
No, not that I know of.
Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, what's going on? People selling Microsoft on my analysis there. Look at that.
Not making that big of a move.
Uh, anyway,
Unless
I don't know
there's a
anything
whale
about.
here.
I don't trade oil stocks. I have no opinion at all on ExxonMobil. You want me to look at the chart? I'll look at the chart, but it's kind of, in my opinion, looking at a chart without understanding the context is kind of a meaningless analysis, in my opinion. But I mean, the chart looks great, right? It's going up, but what's driving it up? Is this the top is going to keep going? Like, I need to have an understanding of the fundamentals to give you any sort of opinion on that, and I don't. Okay, SOC, it's an oil stock, but a little bit of a different story because thank you, Ross, for bringing that to my attention, because this is one with a catalyst that, man, why didn't I stick with this one? Another one. Every day this is getting bought up after the efforts to deregulate in California and to get the proper permits to restart drilling in California offshore there. That's what this is about. So, man, it's a big move. Holy crap. So I've been playing this a lot since all that news came out, and it's been very profitable. Actually, I think it's one of my bigger profits of the year. And let me check, actually. Let's go to our 2026 gains. I think SOC is right at the top, but I'm currently not in it. 2026, right? SOC, closed positions. So, oh, wait a second. I got to go to, let me go to all the 2026 profits. Oh, wow. Guess what's at top? IMRX. Can you go? I finally played IMRX right this time. So IMRX, number one winner for common shares. But it's probably going to be Air. It looks like it's hard to tell because Fidelity doesn't group by ticker symbol. Wow, it looks like I did good with ASPI. Hold on, let me check Redwire because Redwire did. Wow, Redwire. Hold on, Redwire. Let's see what I'm up to most on. Ooh, Redwire and Air are tied. Ooh, and ASPI is close up there too. When did I do good on ASPI? Anyway, yeah, and SOC. Nope, is not in the top. I thought it was. I may have had a bad trade in there because it was at one point. May have given some back at some point. Probably in here somewhere. Anyway, what else we got going on? We got 10 more minutes till we spin the wheel and give away that $100 cash. Hold on, gotta go on mute. Okay, so all right, sorry about that. Okay, so in any case, so what else do we got going on here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go right at the end of the show, 2:30. I'm gonna have to jet, and then we have a 3-day weekend. I'll be on a cruise all of next week, but I'll be around in the chat room. I won't be able to help myself. Of course, I'm not gonna go to all cash, so I'll have to pay attention unless I go to all cash, and I just know myself I can't go to all cash. Like, can anyone do that? Can anyone be like, let me go to all cash in my trading account and actually enjoy my vacation? I don't know.
Yeah, that's me.
You do that? You're special. I can't do it.
I'm out. I don't want the stress.
Good for you, man.
No stress, peace of mind. I mean, not having to worry about anything.
It's hard for me because a lot of my alpha comes from
swinging. Yeah.
No, not necessarily swinging, but it comes from knowing a situation and a company after years of work, right? Like, let's say Air Test Systems, right? AHR. How many conference calls I've been on? How many times I interviewed the CEO? How much research did I do? If you add it all up, I've probably researched Air like at least a couple hundred hours of work, right? So when's my payday? I never know when my payday is. I got to wait for the news releases, and then and then I'll know how to interpret that news instantly based on everything I know about the company. And that's my payday for years of work, right? So it's like, it's not just that I miss the opportunities for the day. Let's say you're like a strict day trader, like you're more technical focused. And it's like, okay, so I missed 5 hours, I missed 8 hours, I took a vacation for 8 hours, and I missed that opportunity for 8 hours, whatever it is. But if I take 8 hours off, I may throw away hundreds of hours of work. You feel me? So that's why it's hard for me to stay away. Like, so I don't think I can put my phone down while I'm on vacation. I will in the middle of the day, but I'll be watching that newsfeed early in the morning and looking for opportunities. Anyway, look at this. Look at this. Look at this SOC. Crazy. That's a big move, red to green. I'm hoping for a nice catch-up move in RCAT towards the end of the day. Again, if there is money on my thesis, but it's not showing now. Oil's going down. Let's see if money pours into oil and defense in the last hour and a half. It's either speculators. Interesting that IWM has been up today with TLT down. This may have to do with, I didn't even look into it. The Trump, well, who was it? Like Warner, like Weber? I don't know. Like for the Fed chair, there's some name that I heard hit my screen, and people are like, it's a better choice for the long term. I don't know. That might mean more hawkish. I'm not sure, but maybe that's why rates are up. Interesting that IWM doesn't care about that today. Outperforming QSPY again.
Yeah, IWM was ripping. I don't know why my mic keeps going on mute. Sorry about that. I was trying to talk to you about what you're saying, but yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from with all those hours of research.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too that I was going to mention is, and my mic was on mute, is less than 10 minutes now before we do the $100 giveaway. So don't forget to go to storytrading_IR on X and just like and retweet the pinned post, and we will be announcing the winner live on the show at 2:30.
Awesome. All right, let me just double check my. Actually, I really got to look at my positions carefully because, okay, we got a 3-day weekend. So let me see. Oh shit. I forgot I got into Micron again this morning. Mother fricker. You know what? This time maybe I'll just swing it. Maybe I'll just swing Micron because I have a $500.
The 5-minute chart looks pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else was looking good today? Quick.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier.
Speaking of, like we spoke about SkyT earlier, that look what it's done, and Quick, similar story, just getting found. We've been all over this for the last, I don't know, $1.50 of a move, and now it's broken cleanly above that 200-week moving average. Ooh, this can be fun next week. I actually added more Quick today, and I forgot to alert it to the Discord. So I increased my Quick position to 5%. I was only 2.5%. I increased it to 5%. I mean, earlier this year, I took big profits when we first got near the 200 DMA because that was a target, the 200-week moving average, as we approached 8. So I sold it there. I went to a small position. So that's why I was only at 2.5%. But now that we're breaking this resistance, I'm increasing my position again. Okay, so Quick can get very interesting very quickly. 865 is the next target on Quick with their space applications and their $88 million contract, and with a $141 million market cap for radiation hardened chips for space technologies. I mean, this is going to get picked up. I'm telling you, I really think that they're going to run Quick like they've run SkyT and some of these other space ones. I think it's going to happen. I really think it's going to happen. I think you're going to see Quick in the $10 to $14, $10 to $13 range. I don't know exactly when. It may be starting to happen here. I think some influencers are building their position, and they're going to go pumping it. That's what I think is going to happen on Quick. Anyway, so there's that. We got 5 minutes left, and I'm in the wrong list. Okay, here we go with ASPI, ONDS. I didn't do fly. Oh, I gotta sell. I'm gonna sell most of my oil before the close. I may pick up some Q calls before the close. This RCAT I picked up not working at the moment. Rhett, should we do that now? Sam likes my thesis and his going Q calls.
On Wednesday, I'm just gonna stay 100% cash. So
Oh, you're saying cash.
in the in my day trading account, I'm just gonna be 100%
I
cash.
guess
so.
I'll do that too because I'm gonna be on vacation.
Yeah, and you don't know how good the service is gonna be either. It's probably gonna be a pain. So
Better be good. I don't know. I think they
yeah,
they
you
have
bet.
a paid version. Why, have you been on a cruise recently?
Yeah, and they suck.
Oh, even when you pay for it, it sucks.
I mean, it's okay. It's spotty here and there, but I
Oh.
mean, it's not the best. But
Oh.
but whenever you get off, I mean, on the islands, I mean, you're pretty much gonna have, if you guys are stopping off and getting off on any like of the little islands or whatever
Yeah.
for the day, like, I mean, I'd assume you guys would be there for the day.
Yeah.
From like I think it's like 10 or 4,
Yeah.
you'll have no service. So pretty much the
Oh.
entire trading day, you
Wow.
will be disconnected unless you're gonna go
Wow.
international.
Mm.
Unless you can hook up to their hotspots there, but don't turn your phone on, or else
Oh.
the phone company will hit you with a nice
Well,
price
that's
tag
gonna
at the end of
be
the month for your phone bill.
that's gonna be interesting, huh? All right. Cwen with a second day follow through after that deal with Google. Wow, this one really got overlooked yesterday with low volume, but man,
Hit our target day 2.
yeah, it would have been a nice one to stick with. Carmel is after that big catalyst. Looks like it's trending up here, but I did not stick with this one either. Not a superb chart today. Let's see. SPI, ONDS, SSC. Am I all out? I'm all out ASTS. Oh, wait, okay. So I got a little extra RCAT for Tuesday. I got my ONDS, which I will have to pair at the end of the day. My position is kind of too big still. And then I'm already out of ASTS.
Howling Wolf made a great point. He said once ASTS is up and running fully, Ben will have service everywhere.
I know.
I can't wait. I'm
I
gonna be
know.
like,
Isn't that wild?
as soon as that comes out, I'm going to be switching so fast.
I have
Well,
to switch
I mean,
because I'm on T-Mobile. They don't have a deal with T-Mobile's with
yes.
Starlink, right?
You mean AST Space Mobile?
No, T-Mobile has a deal with Starlink, not AST. Do
Yeah,
they?
correct. Yep. No, they don't
Yeah.
have one with ASTS.
Which really sucks because I've been
Yeah.
with T-Mobile for like 20 years. And does that make sense? 20 years? Probably. Yeah, maybe even longer. And locked into a rate from like 20 years ago, which is like, I think it's like $10 for each additional line I add. Or maybe it's 20. I think it's 10. It's crazy.
With unlimited service?
Unlimited. I'm not sure.
Holy.
It's
Oh
insane.
my.
I have it from 20 years ago, and for some reason, it's like locked in. I don't know. It's like some sort of employee rate that, like, I don't know. My friend somehow got it for me, and it's crazy.
Wow. So I would just leave it then. I mean,
no,
just get
I
another,
know, and I
just
was
get another.
thinking,
Just, you know what you do? You just get another phone and put a service on that.
get a phone just for ASTS.
Yeah.
An ASTS phone.
Might as well. I mean, if you're locked in at that good, jeez.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So I've been thinking about that lately. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do once ASTS gets going on the other carriers? I'm going to have a dilemma.
All right, we have 2 minutes. Yeah, because they're partnered with AT&T, and that's who my provider is now for my phone. So I'm golden.
Oh, that's great. All right. How many people are eligible now for that?
Let's count this up. Let me refresh the screen here to see. So far, we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
People don't like my thesis. Oil and R.
It looks like we have 16 people that are eligible.
Wow. Okay. Cool. All right. Go for it. Let's put that up on.
All right. You want to do a countdown? Hold on. Let me.
Oh yeah.
Share this really quick.
Hold on.
Share screen. I think it's this one. Can you guys see my screen?
Here we go.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Winner is the
Jello.
Wow, congratulations. There you go.
All right.
The Jello. So you'll be in touch with the Jello, and then
Let me take a screenshot.
I'll try. It may take a couple days to Venmo or PayPal, whatever you use, because I got to run right now, and then I'm traveling. If it's not today, it'll be I'll get it done by tomorrow night. Oh no, what the
Awesome.
hell's going on with the market right now?
Let me see. I'm not too sure.
No, oil. My little war hedges are not working out. But the QQQ stable, but my oil's dropping and my RCAT's dropping. Damn it. Anyway, I gotta go.
All right, guys, have a good weekend, and
care,
I will
everyone.
see you guys on Tuesday. And Ben, we will see you the following week.
All
Safe
right.
travels.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.